הארץ, which you are alluding to, is the branch of progressivism in Israel. And allegedly, Haaretz contacted probably many of you, telling you that you should stay away from this conference because there are right-wing people here, and some of them have a past that is anti-Semitic, and so you are defeating the purpose. While I think we could read this much more simply. Haaretz is an anti-Semitic paper, and it doesn't like us fighting anti-Semitism. That is all. That is the whole story. Because I don't know if you know, Haaretz has been, the mission of Haaretz ever since Amos Shokan has taken it. I should make a disclaimer here. They fired me. They fired me for having an opinion that is not theirs.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. Amos Shokan said Gadi Taub's opinions are illegitimate and should not be heard because I supported the reform. Half of the country is illegitimate in the eyes of the elite, and this is the essence of progressivism, right? Because what the progressives, the progressive way to defend democracy is to paralyze citizens, because citizens, in their opinion, are the greatest danger to the democratic form of government. So Haaretz has been systematically undermining Zionism, and the enmity between progressivism and Zionism is central. It's essential, and you cannot bypass it. Because in the progressive worldview, justice is identified with weakness. The weaker you are, the more just you are considered. And Zionism is about gaining power. Because in the eyes of Zionism, it is immoral to remain weak if you can have power, because power is the only way to do good in the world. One of the ways to do good in the world is defend ourselves. This is why we are proud of our military, we are proud of our economy, we are proud, Stephen, of our competence, because being weak and whining is not moral in the eyes of Zionism. So I'll tell you just briefly this story, because I've been following this for 30 years. Haaretz has been systematically undermining Zionism. That was its mission. It began in the 90s when they gave the post-colonial students of Zionism, the school of post-colonial Edward Said style studies, are inherently anti-Semitic, and they've imported this to Israel, and these literary supplements of Haaretz gave them front and center. Not only were their works, which portrays Zionism as a colonial movement, illegitimate morally, not only were their works front and center, the reviewers in Haaretz were the people of this school. Yet they kept saying they're not anti-Zionists. They suddenly declared this. Do you know when? September of 2023. Aluf Ben, the editor of Haaretz, declared a special project, as he called it. It's time, he said, to take the word Jewish out of the definition of the state as the Jewish and democratic. It will remain only democratic. Why did he suddenly confess what Haaretz has been doing for so long? Because the reform was defeated, and the Supreme Court was further empowered. And the only way to make this state not Jewish is to annihilate democracy. Because so long as you have a Jewish majority and universal suffrage, we would choose Saturday as our day of rest, the Jewish calendar as our holidays, the Hebrew language and the rest of the Jewish tradition as our roots. And then the project was shelved, because 2.5 weeks later was October 7th. And then it would be a hard sell for Jews to say that you don't need a Jewish state. But Aluf Ben was angling for a way to cancel the Jewish character of the state of Israel via a minority that rules the Supreme Court, and our Supreme Court is progressive. The opinion of the judges of the Supreme Court is about the same as Meretz, which didn't make it to the parliament because they didn't pass the threshold. So it's a tiny progressive minority opinion, and the editor of Haaretz saw an opportunity to impose the state of all its citizens to cancel the Jewish character of the state via the Supreme Court by striking down the law that defines the national character of Israel. He could only do it after the defeat of democracy. Now this project has been shelved. Thank you. One sentence. Do not apologize but attack. When they blame us for racism, thank you, don't explain and don't apologize. Blame them for racism because they are the autoimmune disease by which racism has re-entered our culture, and we should call them out instead of apologizing ourselves.
Thank you.